So, I've been on Google a lot, and robotics is starting, so I might not be able to upload too much. And so, it's like, oh, well, what should I do? I have a little bit of time. It's like, well, I'm just looking at Google. Then I saw this button that says Terms down at the corner. So I clicked on it, and then it says, Welcome to Google. But then there's like all sorts of stuff. And like all this stuff that I could read, and apparently counting random stuff is very like useful on YouTube. I don't know, people like watching this sort of stuff. So I'm going to read Google's terms of service. Welcome to Google. Thanks for using our products and services. These services are provided by Google LLC, Google, located at 1600 Amphitheater Parkway, Mountain View, California, 94043, United States. By using our services, you are agreeing to these terms. Please read them carefully. Who does this? No one does. That's why I'm doing it. It's perfect. Our services are very diverse, so sometimes additional terms or product requirements, including age requirements, may apply. Additional terms may be available with the relevant services, and those additional terms become part of your agreement with us if you use those services. Using our services, you must follow any policies made available to you within the services. Don't misuse our services. For example, don't interfere with our services or try to access them using a method other than the interface and the instructions we provide. Like who would ever do something like that? Like that would just be terrible. Where was I? Oh, you may use our services only as permitted by law, including applicable export and re-export control laws and regulations. We may suspend or stop providing our services to you if you do not comply with our terms or policies, or if we are investigated suspected misconduct. Using our services does not give you ownership of any intellectual property rights in our services or the content you access. You may not use content from our services unless you obtain permissions from its owners or are otherwise permitted by law. These terms do not grant you the right to use any branding or logos used in our services. Oops. Don't remove or obscure or alter any legal notices displayed in or among with our services. Our services display some content that not Google's. This content is the sole responsibility of the entity that makes it available. We may review content to determine whether it is illegal or violates our policies, and we may remove or refuse to display content that we reasonably believe violates all policies or the law. But that does not necessarily mean we review the content, so please don't assume that we do. What? In connection with your use of services, we may send you service announcements, administrative messages, and other information. You may opt out of some of those communications. Some of our services are available on mobile devices. Do not use services in such... Oh dear, what's happening? Okay, so I think that Google is trying to stop me from reading this or something, because my computer my entire screen went blank and it went kind of crazy. So, yeah, it really doesn't want me to read this. And then I restarted my computer and everything was fine. So, let's go. Your Google account. You may need a Google account in order to use some of our services. You may create your own Google account, or your Google account may be assigned to you by an administrator, such as your employer or educational institution. If you're using a Google account assigned to you by an administrator, different or additional terms may apply, and your administrator may be able to access or disable your account. To protect your Google account, keep your password confidential. You are responsible for the activity that happens on or through your Google account. Try not to reuse your Google account password on third-party applications. If you've learned of any unauthorized use of your Google account password, or Google account, follow these instructions. Privacy and copyright protection. Oh dear. Google's privacy policy explains on how we treat your personal data and protect your privacy when you use our services. By using our services, you agree that Google can use such data in accordance with our privacy policies. We need to read that. Maybe that See, this is great. I can make another video. This can be like a 3-part series. We can learn about the privacy policy, the terms of service, and this facts and questions technology. So this is perfect. Okay. Let's close that. I'm not sure if something popped up. Malwarebytes is angry. Yeah. We respond to notices of alleged copyright infringement and terminate accounts of repeat infringers according to the process set out by the U.S. Digital Millennium Copyright Act. We provide information to help copyright holders manage their intellectual property online. If you think someone is violating your copyright violating your copyright and want to notify us, you can find information about submitting notices in Google's policy about responding to notices in our help center. See, that's another thing that I can look at. I can just read the entire Google support manual. I could be an IT guy. See, this can be like a summary. Perfect. Some of our services allow you to upload, submit, store, or send or receive content. You retain ownership of any intellectual property rights you hold in that content. In short, what belongs to your estate is yours. This is not what I'm here for. I want to read everything. When you upload, submit, send, or receive your content through our services, if you give Google and those we work with a worldwide license to use, host, store, reproduce, modify, create derivative networks such as those resulting from transactions, adaptions, or others we make so that your content works better with our services. Communicate, publish, publicly perform, publicly display, and to distribute such content so that they can use your content as advertisement and so they can train AIs. The rights you grant in this license are for the purpose of operating, promoting, and improving our services and to develop new ones. This license continues even if you stop using our services. For example, for a business listing you have added to Google Maps. Yeah. Some services may offer you ways to access and remove content that has been provided to that service. Also, in some of our services, there are terms or settings that narrow scope of our using of the content submitted in those services. Make sure you have the necessary rights to grant us this license before any content you submit to our services. Yeah. Our content system analyzes your content, including wait a minute. So they have an AI that looks at all the emails that are sent through Gmail. That's creepy. To provide you personally relevant product features, such as customized search results, tailored advertising, and spam and malware detection. This analysis occurs when the content is sent, received, and when it is stored. Well, that's nice. If you have a Google account, we may display your profile name, profile photo, and actions you take on Google or on third-party applications connected to your Google account, such as OnePlus reviews you write and the comments you post, and our services, including displaying ads and other commercial context. We will respect the choices you make to limit our sharing or visibility settings in your Google account. For example, you can choose your settings so that your name and photo do not appear in an ad. Well, it would be cool if my channel got appeared in an ad. Why would you not want that? Then the entire world knows, your name and stuff. Yeah. You can find more information on how Google uses and stores context in the privacy policy or additional terms for particular services. If you submit feedback or suggestions about our services, we may use the feedback or suggestions without obligation to you. Let's just not tell people about that. See? It was never there. About software and our services. When a service requires or includes downloadable software, this software may update automatically on your device. Once a new version or feature is available, some services may let you adjust your automatic update settings. Google gives you personal, worldwide, royalty-free, non-assignable, non-exclusive license to use the software provided to you by Google as a part of the services. This license is for the sole purpose of enabling you to use and enjoy the benefits of the services as provided by Google. In the manner permitted by these terms, you may not copy, modify, distribute, sell, or lease any part of our services or include the software. You may not reverse engineer or attempt to extract the source code of that software. Oh, you mean like this? Sorry. but sorry about that. You may not copy, modify, distribute, or release any part of our services or included software. Nor may you reverse. Oh, I already read that. Yeah, that didn't happen either. Open source software is important to us. Some software used in our services may be offered under an open source license that we will make available to you. There may be provisions in the open source license that expressly override some of these terms. Ooh. Modifying and terminating our services. I haven't been doing that. I don't know what they're talking about. We are constantly changing and improving our services. We may add or remove functionality or features, and we may suspend or stop service altogether. You can stop using our services at any time. No, you are legally you have to use our services. What? Do you need to say this? Although we will be sorry to see you go. You'll make Google, this small corporate, just sad. Google may also stop providing services to you or create new limits to our services at any time. We believe that your own data and preserving your access to such data is important. If we discontinue a service, we are reasonably possible to give you reasonably advance notice and a chance to get information out of that service. So, like if they stopped Google Photos or something, and you wanted to get all your photos off of their servers, they could just do that and rebrand it and get everyone's pictures off of it. What if you go on vacation while they do that? That could be a problem. All warranties and disclaimers. Ooh, this sounds fun. Oh, we're almost at the bottom. Ooh, another idea. So I can read all of these, and then I can read the entire first robotics competition manual. I should do that. Then I get, because I have to read it anyway, I might as well make content out of it. We provide our services using a commercial responsible level of skill and care, and we hope that you will enjoy using them. But there are certain things that we don't promise about our services. Oh dear. Other than as expressively set out in these terms or additional terms, neither Google's nor its suppliers or distributors make any specific promises about the services. For example, we do not make any comments about the content within the services, the specific functions of the service, or the reliability, availability, or ability to meet your needs. We provide these services as an as-is. Some jurisdictions provide for certain warranties. Okay, so let's see. Where was I? Some jurisdictions provide for certain warranties, like the implied warranty of merchantability, fitness for a particular purpose, and non-infringement to the extent permitted by law. We exclude all warranties. Oh dear. We're almost there. We're so close. Just like another page. Liability for our services. When permitted by law, Google and Google suppliers and distributors will not be responsible for lost profits, revenues, or data financial losses, indirect special consequences, permanently or punitive damages. What does this word even mean? What does this mean? I'm gonna Google this. Oh dear. Oh dear. No. I know how to use a computer, I think. What does this word mean? It is an adjective inflicting or intended as Oh, that's scary. Of tax or charge extremely high. Oh dear. So if there's a bunch of crazy damages, they aren't liable for it. Just so everyone knows. To the extent permitted by law, to total liability of Google and its suppliers and distributors for any claims under these terms, including any implied warranties, is limited to the amount that you paid us to use those services, or if we choose to supply the services again. In all cases, Google and its suppliers and distributors will not be liable for any loss or damage that is not reasonably foreseeable. We're so close. We just have to read that much more. Business uses of our services. If you are using our services on behalf of a business, that businesses accept these terms that will hold harmless and identify Google for its affiliates, officers, agents, and employees for any claim, suit, or action arising from related to use the services of violation of these terms, including any liability or expense arising from claims, losses, damages, suits, judgment, litigation costs, and attorney's fees. Just want to make sure it's actually going. Okay, it is going. Okay, I was scared that I don't want to read these again. So wait, something about attorney's fees. About these terms, I've been reading about these. We may modify these terms or any additional terms that apply to the service to, for example, reflect changes to the law or changes to our services. You should look at the terms regularly. No one does this. No one does. Okay. We will post notice of modifications of these terms on this page. We will post notice of modifications of these terms on this page. This is the terms of service page. Nobody checks with this recently. You gotta have to tell people. We will post a notice of modified additional terms in the actual service. Changes will not apply retroactively and will become effective no sooner than 14 days after they are posted. However, changes addressing new functions for the service or changes made for legal reasons will be effective immediately. If you not agree to the modified terms for service, you should discontinue your use of that service. There's a conflict between these terms and additional terms and the additional terms will control for that conflict. These terms control the relationship between Google and you. They do not create any third-party beneficiary rights. If you do not comply with these terms and we don't take any action right away, this doesn't mean that we're giving up any rights that we should have, such as taking action in the future. If it turns out that a particular term is not enforceable, this will not affect any other terms. In the laws of California, USA, excluding California's conflict of law rules, so this will apply to any disputes arising out of relating to these terms of services. All claims are arising out of relating to these terms of services, and the services will be litigated exclusively in the federal state of courts of Santa Clara County, California, USA, and you and Google consent to personal jurisdiction in those courts. For information about how to contact Google, please visit our contact page. It's in English. Oh, there's so many languages. And tomorrow I will be reading Google's terms of service in Japanese or Chinese or Mongolian. What? Is this Arabic? Weird. So yeah, I did that. Oh, last modified. Is this an outdated one? Nope, it's not. Oh, cool. I could have done this. I could have made, like, mini episodes. Just me reading a paragraph or something. Okay. Well, that was pretty crazy. I read Google's terms of services. Alright. Okay, so I finished reading all this. I think next I'm probably going to read their privacy policy, maybe. Oh, well, that's pretty boring. Oh, this is actually longer. And there's pictures. Yeah, I think I'll read that. And what's in technology? Oh, well, that's boring. At Google, we pursue the ideas and products that often push the limits of existing technology. As a company that acts responsibly, we work hard to make sure any innovation is balanced with appropriate level of privacy, security for our users. Our privacy principles help guide decisions, and we make at every level of our company to protect and empower our users as we fulfill our ongoing mission to organize the world's information. That's scary. Oh, I could also read this fact. Oh, well, that's small. Well, that's boring. I think I'll read their privacy policy next. Yeah. Well, maybe. That was crazy. Yeah, I'm not reading that again. See ya.